Welcome to this episode of What If Moments for Moms. I'm so thankful that you've decided to tune in today. I know that you have a busy mom life, just like we do. I have the sweetest guest, Mande Sattia, with me today. She is an author, a mom. I'm just so excited for you to hear her. We're going to talk about part one of a postpartum depression series. So I'm very excited. I know this is something that a lot of us have been through, and I'm just excited to talk about it. So grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea and take this moment just for you. Everyone, welcome back. So excited that you're here to join us today. Again, we're talking about part one of a two-part series on postpartum depression, fear, anxiety, all those kind of things. So excited to have this conversation. I know it's a really hard topic, but I think it's something that really just needs to be talked about. I'm so thankful for my guest. Mande, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Hi. Oh, thank you for having me. I am so excited to be with you. It is a hard topic, but we're going to have a little bit of joy in the midst of it. I
100%.
swear.
Yes, I believe you. I believe you. I wish you were here in person, but this is
I know,
so fun.
me too. I got to make it to your neck of the woods. I've never been to Nashville, ever. I've never, ever been to Nashville, and I know it has a lot to offer. So I got to make it down there for sure.
You should totally come down here. Yes,
for
yes.
Sure. Yes.
All right, let's just dive right in because we don't have a ton of time and there's a lot to talk about. So let's talk first. Let's start with like the overview of postpartum, your experience, kind of what that looks like.
Yeah. So I'm the mom of two daughters. One is nearly 21 and one is nearly 16. So I'm on kind of the back end of parenting, and I'm many years out from postpartum depression. But it's still one of my favorite things to talk about, because the more we talk about it, the less it has this hold on new mamas and the less it becomes a stigma. It's just crazy to me that we have protocols in place. We have tons of books you can read. We have lots of resources. I know that doctors check for this. We talk about it, but we don't really talk about it. We don't talk about our individual experiences and how it created legacies in our families, how it affected relationships and how we came out of it. And so it's one of my most favorite topics. So I'm many years past it, but I came out of 2 bouts of postpartum depression. Okay. So I had one for each kid, one for each kid, 2 babies and 2 bouts. And I was someone that did struggle a little bit with mental health leading up into my pregnancy and delivery with my first daughter, but I was still incredibly taken aback by the, I would say the suddenness of the onset of the symptoms that happened to me. I was not, I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. I distinctly remember the day that we were supposed to be released from the hospital, sitting on the hospital bed with my sweet little newborn in her carrier next to me, and this swirling in my stomach. And I felt I had never felt before. And it wasn't the new mama apprehension. It wasn't the, oh, I've never been a mom before. How will I handle this? It was something greater than that. And I didn't know it at the time, but I think that was the start of postpartum depression for me. It hit hard and fast early on.
Wow. Yeah.
And I spiraled. And so, I mean, I remember my husband coming home midday at lunch to check on me, because I think that there was such a concern about how I was doing. And he really advocated on my behalf for me with my doctor to help me get help, because I didn't get a ton of offering from the doctor I had at the time. And so I'm very, very thankful that he was watching. And then the second time around wasn't nearly as bad. And at that point, because I had come through it and I had been out the other side, I made the phone call that time. I said to the doctor, I'm not feeling well. I think I need some help. And so all these years later, I love to talk about this so that we can get women the help that we need, Moms need help. Moms need help.
Yes.
Moms need help. So that was my experience with postpartum depression. And the first bout lingered for years. The second bout was much, much shorter. And so I feel like I've been on both sides of the spectrum.
So when you say, because I think that there's this stigma when we do hear it talked about, it's what I've heard in the past is, I want to hurt myself. I want to hurt my baby.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I didn't feel that. I felt
Yeah.
overjoyed with my baby, but I was
Sure.
angry inside and stressed. So like,
Yes.
what are some of the things that you physically felt to
Yeah.
identify that it was that? Because I think that the stigma
Yeah.
is like, you want to hurt yourself or your child. And that's kind of where the
Absolutely.
discussion ends.
Yeah, I think that okay, so the discussion of postpartum depression, in my experience, exists in two extremes. You
Mhm.
either have the almost kind of cutesy word baby blues. We call it baby blues, which essentially, sometimes I feel like it invalidates the gravity of what a new mom could be experiencing, whether it really is just sort of a hormonal shift or
Right.
postpartum
Sure.
depression. Calling it baby blues doesn't really give an example of a full expression of what you're dealing with there. But, or on the other hand, you're right. You hear this person needs to be, they're not safe for themselves
Right.
or anybody else, that we need to intervene. And I don't think most women with postpartum depression actually live in those two extremes.
Right. Yeah.
They exist, but I
Mhm.
think most of us are somewhere in the middle. And I'm so glad you said anger. I was talking with my coworkers about this. I said, I'm going to be on this amazing show and we're going to talk about postpartum depression. If you were watching, what would be the one thing you would want me to talk about? And my coworker, who I adore, she had a bad bout as well. And she said, talk about the anger, talk about the
Wow.
rage that I felt,
Yeah.
because it's a
Yes.
word
Oh.
that I think we're not allowed to say because
Mm.
it's scary. Right. And rage is like a secondary emotion. Anger is a secondary emotion. It's really the output of the sadness, the frustration, the
Yeah.
confusion that you
The
feel,
exhaustion.
the exhaustion.
Yeah.
It's like layers, there's so many
Yeah.
layers. And I think that even rage at myself, like I felt betrayed that I had been, working all these months up to getting this little
Right.
baby.
Yeah.
And now I don't even feel like I can take care of it. I don't
Mhm.
even know how to help myself, let alone a baby. And so there was a lot of anger and a lot of rage. And then of course the shame comes. The shame comes
Yeah.
because you feel all these things and you don't know what to do with them at all.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
so glad you said that, because it was
Yeah.
the very first thing she said. So that's what it feels like. And then on a practical level, right, if you open a Google search, you're going to find disordered sleep and eating, mood swings, irritability, all those things, which are,
Mhm.
experienced all of those for
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
And
That's
it
how
is
it
so hard.
feels.
I'm glad that you brought up the hormones too, because
Yeah.
there is that like, okay, is this
Yeah.
postpartum? Is this just because I just birthed a human, right?
I just gave a human birth.
There's a human.
Oh my gosh. I know. It's
And we're
crazy.
not
It's
sleeping, not eating
no,
normal. Like
you're not exercising if
everything's
you're an
different.
exerciser.
Yes.
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 I
Yes.
don't think I was prepared for, I was so excited. We tried for quite a
Yeah.
while. No, I don't have
Yeah.
quite the infertility story to the extreme as so many of my friends and people that I've
Sure.
talked to have, but we did. I still had the hurt and the negative pregnancy tests and the tears. Like we
Yeah.
had that. I was 37 when I
Yeah.
had Charlie. I felt like I was too old. I was geriatric pregnancy.
You're not
Which,
old. You're not
for
old.
anybody that has a geriatric pregnancy, you just get
Yeah.
extra ultrasounds. So it's actually awesome.
That's right.
You
And
get
maybe
to see
bed
your
rest.
baby
Woo!
more.
Yeah.
It's fine. But I just like, I was so excited to have him because
Yeah.
we finally have
Yes.
this baby.
Absolutely.
And I didn't realize how much of myself, my husband even said to me, and Charlie's almost 3. We finally went away, maybe I think it was last weekend, 2 weekends ago, maybe, to a wedding. And we just one night, an hour away. And he said in the car to me, because I was just thinking about Charlie. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And he
Consuming.
said,
Yeah.
it is. He goes, you do know
Yeah.
that being a mom is your full identity right now. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
that,
Oh.
right? I was like, oh,
Yeah.
thanks so much. And I don't think that he meant it to impact me the way that it
Sure.
did.
Of course.
But I'm thankful that he said it, because he's absolutely right. Like I do work full time. I do the show, like I cook and clean and grocery shop and do all the things that all the moms do. Like we do all of the things.
All of it.
But I have literally like, if I just sat quiet and thought like, hey, what does Ashley like to do? What
Yes.
I don't know,
Yes.
because I've kind of in the last 3 years lost myself to being a mom, which isn't bad,
Absolutely.
but there's got to be
No,
that balance.
absolutely, because it wasn't the only thing that God created you to be.
Right.
It-
Yes.
that was never the intention for
Yes.
motherhood or fatherhood, right?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
you are given many, many assignments. That was just one of them, for
Yes,
sure.
that's
Yeah.
true. Okay, well,
Yeah.
we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
Okay, so I want you all to stay with us. Stephanie is going to be with us with one of her amazing What the Hack segments. So we'll see what she's going to be cooking up or fixing up or for doing with us next. But we will be back to talk about another little episode of this postpartum conversation, and I don't want you to miss it. So hang with us and we'll be right back.
We want to connect with you. Make sure to visit our website, momentsformoms.tv, for the latest episodes of the show, guest information, resources, and so much more. Visit momentsformoms.tv today.
The hat. The city.
Hey there, Stephanie here, and today we're going to talk about food.
We love
I
food.
have Rebecca back because
Hi.
she's not my new co-host.
Hey, I'll take the title.
Right? The price of food is just ridiculous. So I just want to help you take maybe a cheaper piece of meat and make it yummy. Okay, so today's going to be a picture show because I don't have a kitchen to cook for you in, but I'm going to show you pictures of what I did. So I have this adorable little crock pot because it's just my husband and I, right? There's just two of us. And I got some top sirloin meat, not the most expensive cut, and not something you want to really just throw on the grill because it would be tough. So I put that in the crock pot. I put some onions, then I put some French onion soup.
Delicious.
Flavor, lots of flavor in that. I put some cream of mushroom soup. And if you don't like cream of anything soups, you can do a slurry, a cornstarch slurry, cornstarch and water. That will help thicken the sauce. And then I cooked it all day, right? 4 to 6 hours. The crock pot is your friend. You can use a cheaper roast, a pork roast, a beef roast, anything. They will come out and they will be so yummy and tender. That's the word I'm looking for. So I cooked it all day. And then you can see right here in this picture how just it was so delicious. Well, you can't see the delicious, but you can see the tenderness, right? And then I put my husband's over potatoes. I put mine over cauliflower rice. You could put a little balsamic vinegar in there for a little punch of tang. So take a cheaper piece of meat. Plus, I got the top sirloin on sale at Sam's. So, I mean, it was really... It was $5, okay,
That's
for that meat, and that it made a meal, so it was delicious. So you can take a cheaper piece of meat, you can make it very delicious in your crock pot, and then you can have a yummy meal, right? And then I have a little bonus for you today, okay? Because you're probably like, Stephanie, why do you have toilet paper sitting on the counter? You have company come, right? You want to have toilet paper out for them, but you don't want it to just look like this,
Regular toilet paper.
So look, we have these beautiful napkins. Super cute, right? And all you do is you take the toilet paper, you wrap it up, okay? You tuck both ends in, kind of like a gift, right?
Yeah.
And then you put this on the back of your toilet.
And how cute.
I mean, it would be just so much more beautiful than just, and then
Just
they
regular
don't have
toilet
to
paper?
ask, like, excuse me,
Where's your
we're
toilet
out of
paper?
TP, you know? Listen, you're going to get it all here, okay? So super cute idea.
Yep.
My email is right here. If you have any questions, food, gifts, Christmas, crafts, I mean, anything, please give me an email. I'm happy to help you. If I don't know the answer, I'll find it for you. I love having Rebecca here.
Oh,
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And because I like to laugh, and I want to help
to
you laugh, I'm going to leave you with this.
The hat. The city.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that fun home hack with Stephanie. I'm so grateful that she is a part of our Moments for Moms community and show. She is a gem, and I know you love her just as much as I do. So now we're back with my friend Mande, and we are going to continue our conversation on postpartum depression. And Mande, I know we kind of left off talking about what it feels like, what it looks like. Now, how do we get out of it? Is there hope for somebody going through postpartum depression?
Yes. The great news is, statistically speaking, I'm not a professional, but most of us make it out of it. Yeah. And I think the message that is so important for moms to hear is that now is not forever. Now is
so
not
good.
forever. That was something that the Lord shared with me way back when I was in those early days. Now is not forever. And if you can keep that mantra in your head, then find the practical steps of getting out of postpartum depression become infinitely easier, right? Because you've got that perspective in mind. One thing that I think is so important in the Christian community to remind women is that faith and medicine are not in competition or opposition to each other. Luke was a physician, right? One of the chosen disciples was a doctor, and that was purposeful, right? Jesus knew that this could become a little bit of a discussion for us later on. And so he highlighted a doctor. And so for my story, I ended up utilizing both therapy and medication to find my way out of postpartum depression. It was a temporary use, and it made all the difference. Made it possible for me to get up in the morning and take care of myself and take care of my baby, get back to work. Getting back into my work day ended up becoming incredibly important to my healing process. And I still work full-time to this day. Because I realized the importance on my mood that it really had. So just for me, you have to find what works for you. And so for me, those were the steps that I had to take. There are so many resources that are available to moms. But I think that the most important part is having a community and a support system. Like I said, I had my husband, but church communities are really, really important. Friends are important. Moms, your own mom is really important. Sisters and siblings, aunts, and having someone that will advocate for you. And I've told a few new moms that one of the things that I think is really important is for you to have a conversation with your partner before you ever have the baby that says, here are the things that I want you to look for in me when I get home from the hospital. If you see any of them happening, I need your help. I need your help. I need you to advocate for me. Because honestly, it's a lot for a partner to, how do you even know what to do if you don't have the conversation? They're also dealing. And by the way, dads can get postpartum depression too. So, you know, so watch each other have that. I wish my husband and I had had that conversation beforehand, but he really came in clutch for me. So that was great.
I know.
But
that's just incredible.
That conversation, have that conversation and remember that now is not forever. Now is not forever. And I think just doing, one time I had a very wise woman say, just do the one next thing. Don't think, don't think of the 10 things you need to do. Do the one thing you need to do. What's the next logical thing that you have to do right now? If you could take it in, which is actually great advice for moms.
Anybody,
not postpartum moms, just any mom, right? Just do the one next thing. And that becomes a huge weight off your shoulder because you just need to think about taking care of yourself in that moment and taking care of your baby. The laundry will wait. Right?
Yes.
It will.
And I think that was something that was really hard for me because I am such like a perfectionist and I can be like super OCD and I want everything clean and tidy. And so like for me with the laundry can wait, that seems ridiculous, but it was really hard.
Feels impossible.
It does. And like, I don't want dishes in the sink and I fix the throw pillows before we go to bed. And my husband thinks that's ridiculous. I'm like, when I wake up, I want it to look nice. Like, I want to have my coffee with nice throw pillows.
That's right. Absolutely.
But in that season, like the throw pillows really didn't matter.
Right. Exactly.
Nor did the laundry. But it was still mentally challenging for me because that is just how I'm wired and who God created me to be.
It was your norm.
Yes, it was.
And now all your norms are out the window.
They are. So the funny thing is that Charlie, he's definitely picked up some of the tendencies, which I am not mad about. So he cleans up his playroom every single night.
That's great.
Yes. And if he doesn't, we go in there in the morning and he'll say, oh, it's a mess. It is
Oh.
a mess. And I'm like, it is
Oh my
a
gosh.
mess.
One
so
day
funny.
he's going to get married and make someone very happy.
I know, like, this is awesome.
happy.
He'll bring, like, he's now in this moment where he brings his plate to me at the sink,
Oh,
which it's wonderful,
Yes.
but he also just like holds it like sideways. So everything is perfect.
now it's on the floor. Yeah.
But he's helping. So I'm just grateful that he's helping me.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I just remember being in the midst of those moments. And when I had Charlie during COVID. So we had him December 2020.
Yeah.
So it was
Isolation.
our norm was already not normal.
Yep.
Everything
Yep.
was different.
Yes.
There wasn't a place to go work out unless you did it at home. And I
Yeah.
remember after we had him, people from church would come and put like casseroles outside of our door and wave
Oh,
because it's, our
yeah.
family would come in. But other than that, we weren't around anybody for quite a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finding a new norm in the midst of like feeling isolated. And I think that even though it might not be COVID anymore, technically, or like isolation and people can have visitors in the hospital and all the things, I do still think that there is a sense of isolation for new moms.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So whether COVID or
Absolutely.
not, there's still
Yes.
that like isolation. And I
Definitely.
think that if we keep ourselves in that place, it could quickly spiral
Oh,
and
yeah.
set us to
It
the
does.
point of postpartum.
Yes.
So-
it spirals quickly. And
Yeah.
I often think that, so treatment for postpartum should be swift, but the healing of postpartum takes time. And so make the treatment the thing that you run to, that you got to have it now, immediately. The support has to happen now, but and then it stops the spiral, right? It stops the spiral because it can get ugly. We've heard stories. We've heard the stories. They're tragic and they don't have to get to that point. Postpartum depression is treatable. It is fixable.
Absolutely.
Doesn't have to be that way.
Yes.
So sprint into the treatment and then take your time healing because you've got time. Be kind to yourself. Yeah. Be kind.
That's so good. That's so good.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think with anything, if you think about healing, like the hurt happens like
Yeah.
that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's
In an
physical
instant.
or
Yeah.
emotional. But I mean, there's things that I'm still walking through from years ago where I still like sometimes it'll, like,
Childhood.
trigger me and I'm like, oh wait, I thought that was gone.
So trauma.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, in
Absolutely.
anything. I mean, and I love that, like sprint to the treatment.
Yeah.
In any hurt, any healing, like
Yes.
like sprint to God, like sprint to Him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Sprint there.
Get there as
and
fast as you
voice
can.
it.
Yeah.
Yes. Talk to somebody. You're not alone.
Talk to somebody. It's
Yes.
okay. You're in great
Yes.
company. The statistics are like 15% of all new moms will have postpartum depression.
Right.
You're definitely not alone. And the more you talk about it, the more you find people that are like, oh, me too.
Yes.
Me too.
It's incredible.
too.
I
It
remember
really is. It
feeling
really
like
is.
certain things.
Yeah.
And as soon as I opened up to a friend and she's like, oh yeah, I have that. And I'm like, oh, like I'm not dying.
Great. Let's talk
Like,
about it. Yes.
And I just immediately, just that small like statement that I made to her, so much freedom, so much like
relief.
that immediately started me on the path of like,
Yes.
wait a minute, I am not alone. I
Yes.
feel like the devil loves to make us think that it's just us. It's only
Absolutely.
me. I'm the only one dealing with this. Like all of the negative.
Talk about isolation, whether we're really truly isolated or not, we can mentally isolate us all the time, right?
Yes.
And that's why no matter how many years you get past postpartum depression, keep talking about it and keep saying it, because then new mamas see someone who came out the other side, right? And they're like, oh, wow, there's hope. As you said in the very beginning, we can get to the end of this tunnel and there is light at the end for sure. For sure.
There's so much. Thank you so much. We are just about
thank you for having me.
Yes. We'll make sure to put up your contact information and everything so people can see what you've written in your book and all of the amazing things that you're doing. Yes, we'll have that all up on the screen for you. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And I want you all to stay with us. Dr. Brooks Gibbs, he'll be back with a mental health moment like always. And I'm just so grateful. If you all feel yourself struggling with postpartum depression or any just little trigger, or if you feel alone, if you're a new mom and you just want somebody to talk to, I would encourage you so much. Become a part of our Facebook group. It's private, it's confidential. Email me. I would love to talk to you and pray with you. I just thank you for being here, being with us on this show, and we'll see you next time.
For the Christian Television Network, I'm Dr. Brooks Gibbs, and welcome to your mental health moment. Today we're discussing a common mental health challenge, worry. Worrying about the future, about what might happen, can rob us of the peace and joy of the present. However, Matthew chapter 6, verse 34 offers an antidote. It says, "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." This scripture encourages us to focus on the present and deal with today's challenges rather than burdening ourselves with the uncertainties of tomorrow. This shift in perspective can significantly lessen our mental load and enhance our well-being. So whenever worry tries to invade your mind, remember to take a deep breath, refocus on the present, trust that you can handle whatever comes your way one day at a time. You know, another word for worry is anxiety. Another word for anxiety is stress. And the Bible says, be anxious, be stressful, be worried about nothing, but instead transfer that pain into prayer. For the Christian Television Network, I'm Dr. Brooks Gibbs.
What If? Moments for Moms is more than just a show. It is a community of moms encouraging each other on this incredible journey we have been called to. Join our private Facebook group to share your mom moments, questions, small victories, and connect with other moms as we all come together in this ministry called motherhood. We can't wait to see you there.
Say hey, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, what are we doing? What are we painting? We're painting a pumpkin. We found this Lazy Susan pumpkin in the dollar bin at Target. Where did we find? What store did we find this at?
Target.
We like Target. So look how cute it is. We just got a whole bunch of little paints out and our paintbrushes, and we're having a little fall painting day. Kind of. We're playing with the paint. But look how good Ree's doing.
What that one for?
That one's for the orange. You can use it. Okay, we'll show you guys what it looks like when we're done. Oh, wow, okay. Show them your hands. Say bye.
Bye.
Hey everyone, I'm so thankful that you've been joining me for the episodes of Moments for Moms. I hope that you've enjoyed them so far. I hope you found lots of encouragement, connected with some other moms, met some nice people along the way. I know that you've seen lots of my little Charlie, maybe his friend Emma so far, but I would love to connect with you. I'd love to see you and your littles and your small victories and your mom moments and your mom tips. If you have any of those, just shoot them on your phone. You don't have to have makeup. You've seen us in our playroom working out, all kinds of funny things. Send those to me at ashley@momentsformoms.tv. I'll email you the air date, a link to the show, so you can be sure to see you and your little on the Moments for Moms show.